Greetings, friends. Some of you may be wondering what Blue Lock and Iron Maiden have in common. In today's video, I will explain that in great depth, and hopefully you enjoy it. There will be spoilers ahead for anyone not caught up in the latest chapter. So, here is your warning. For those of you who don't know, Iron Maiden is one of the most renowned heavy metal bands in the world. They dominated the 80s with their iconic album covers and their energetic live shows, along with their amazing performances. To this day, they're still touring with the same exceptional quality. Their music is filled with iconic sounds and insightful lyrics. Now, what relevance does a band from the 80s have to a manga about soccer? Well, you see, after reading the latest chapter, I realized that Nagi Seishiro is an anomaly in the world of Blue Lock, and that's why he, for the time being, has failed in the program. The song that reminds me of Nagi Seishiro the most is called Stranger in a Strange Land. It's off of Iron Maiden's 6th studio album, Somewhere in Time. Obviously, the entirety of the song does not pertain to his stories, and my thoughts are a bit of a reach. The story of the song is about a man who ventures out and eventually gets frozen in ice during his exploration. The man hopes his friends will rescue him, but until then, his spirit wanders the frozen landscape. Eventually, his remains are discovered 100 years later, preserved in time for all to see. In essence, he finds himself to be a stranger in a strange land, given him being an explorer in an unfamiliar place. Steve Harris drew inspiration for the song from the hikers who never returned from climbing Mount Everest. Though Nagi is not an explorer in the Arctic, certain elements of his story remind me of this song, so let's get into it. In short, Nagi was eliminated because he is the antithesis to Blue Lock. In a program where ego and self-reliance are a must, Nagi lacked both. In the last chapter, he was gripped by fear and failed to overcome it. From his lack of drive in the beginning of the story to his over-reliance upon Reo, Nagi failed to grasp the goal of the program. And that's where it hit me. Like the Iron Maiden song, Nagi is also a stranger in a strange land. If we look at the lyrics to the song, we can find some similarities between the two. In the opening verse, we're met with the lyrics, "Was many years ago when I left home and came this way. I was a young man full of hopes and dreams. But now it seems to me that all is lost and nothing gained. Sometimes things ain't what they seem." Now tell me, that doesn't sound like Nagi in this latest chapter. Having failed to be in the top 23, he too has lost everything. For him, things are also not what they seemed. He was under the impression that he could be a successful egoist in his current state. This notion of his was clearly not the case, as it was disproved by the other team reading him like a book and scoring a goal because they knew he'd turn to Reo to save him. Now, let's look at the next lyrics that share similarities with Nagi's story. "What became of a man that started? All are gone and their souls departed. Left me here in this place so all alone." Like the person in the song, Nagi is most likely questioning his time in Blue Lock. What has become of the man that started? From being an unstoppable force, to scoring in the U20 match, to at one point being the number 2 player in the NEL, all just to fall short and finish in 24th place. All his friends will now leave him, as he will most likely be out of the program. Though their souls aren't departing to the afterlife, they will be departing to the next stage without him, effectively leaving him here, in this place, so all alone. I don't think he'll be written off just yet. I think this solitude will be to his benefit, as being alone will allow him to grow as both a person and as a player. He will have the chance to learn from his mistakes and return anew. Lastly, let's go over the chorus. "Stranger in a strange land, land of ice and snow, trapped inside this prison, lost and far from home." Nagi, if you think about it, truly is the stranger in a strange land. Compared to everyone else, he is extremely different and unique given his motives. Unlike everyone else, he has no clear goals or an ego. Everyone from the beginning has been refining theirs. Even Reo has begun to develop his own ego in the NEL arc, while Nagi has grown stagnant. To him, Blue Lock is a strange land. Being around so many different people and having to be away from the safety of his apartment, he has indeed found himself to be in a foreign place. Though the setting is not a land of ice and snow physically, figuratively it can be seen that way. Project Blue Lock is a cold and unforgiving environment. It's designed to be a place where only one person can reach the top. How many dreams and egos have been crushed within its walls? Only the strong have been able to survive within this harsh environment. Up until now, Nagi has been trapped inside this prison, with the exception of the one outing they had after the U20 match. Since then, he hasn't been able to be in the outside world, and given his fate, one can imagine Blue Lock does feel like a prison to him. At the moment, he is truly lost and far from home. He's lost in the sense that he is facing a crushing defeat, which has left him thoroughly perplexed. He doesn't know where to go, and he doesn't know what to do. If given the opportunity, he can explore these feelings and hopefully emerge with a real ego. That way he can return and be who he is truly meant to be. Physically, he is far from home. He had to leave the comfort of his apartment and his beloved cactus Choki. I imagine he will continue to be far from home whilst the story goes on. That is, unless the author decides to write off his character entirely, in which case this video's points may carry more weight. That was it for the song and its similarities to our favorite lazy genius. I do hope he remains as a part of the story and gets a chance at redemption. However, if he doesn't, then let this be a lesson for us all as to what happens when we don't face our fears. In short, don't be a stranger in a strange land. If you do find yourself to be in such a position, keep going until you're out of the land of ice and snow. Don't give in to fear and become frozen by it. You're stronger than you know. Keep persevering. If you haven't already, I highly recommend giving Iron Maiden a listen. If heavy metal isn't your cup of tea, you're truly missing out. These are my song recommendations and album recommendations. Their music is truly transformative and can be the motivation you need for when you might find yourself in a strange land. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and would like me to give another character a similar analysis, leave a like and comment who it should be. Take care.